Hi there, and welcome back. It's great to have you with me again as I come to you from my couch. I want to ask you a question today. What do you want Jesus to do for you? That's a question that Jesus asked several times in his ministry. In the Gospels, we read time and time again of people coming to Jesus with physical problems and with emotional problems. In many cases, we see Jesus addressing spiritual problems. His response to a request for healing was to forgive the person's sin or to commend their faith. People were healed because of their faith or when their sins were forgiven. We read of people healed when they took action, like Jesus' instruction to go and bathe in a pool or go and show themselves to the priest. We read of people being healed because of the faith of others. For example, the woman in Matthew 15 who knelt before Jesus and cried out for her daughter to be healed. We know the story of Jairus, who came to Jesus asking for healing for his daughter. What about the depth of faith of the woman who had been bleeding for 12 years? As a woman with this condition, who would have been considered unclean, she took a big risk in going into the crowd just to touch the edge of Jesus' clothes. Or what about the men who lowered their friend through the roof so Jesus could heal him? These people longed for Jesus to make a difference. They just knew that he could and would do it. Did they sit down first and analyze the situation? Did they focus on all the what ifs? Did they worry about what others would say or think of them? Did they study the right way to come to Jesus? No, they just heard about him, believed, and came. The crowds came to Jesus, bringing people with all sorts of physical problems to him. Were they told to go away? Not by Jesus. We're told that he simply healed them. Not only that, but Jesus had compassion for them and was even worried about them going hungry. God our Father longs for us. He longs for us to come to him. He longs for relationship with us. He longs for us to follow him and to find joy in all that he has for us. He longs for us to bring our worries, our problems, our physical and our emotional needs to him. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The Lord is gracious and compassionate, and he longs for us to come to him, flawed, unclean, imperfect, raw, sinful, emotionally crippled, broken, to find peace, rest, healing, and restoration at his feet. Do we long for him? Do I long for him? What would it be like if we longed for God as much as he longs for us? Even half as much? Do we even want to long for him? Have we become so comfortable in our lives that we're afraid to long for more of God? I wonder, do we long for others to know God? Do we long for people around us to be found by him? And how do we respond to that longing? Do we know the joy of belonging to God enough to long for others to know him too? These are actually big questions that only you can answer for yourself. Whatever it is that you long for, pray that God will give you wisdom to know how to respond to that longing. If you long for other people to have a relationship with God and to experience the joy of knowing him that you found, then pray for opportunities to share your experience of God with others. I found a great quote by a man called Jack Hayford. It says this: "God is looking for people who will come in simple dependence upon his grace and rest in simple faith upon his greatness. At this very moment, He is looking at you. We all have longings in our lives. In Mark chapter 10, Jesus asked a question, and it's the question I asked at the top of this video. What do you want me to do for you? He asked James and John this when they came with a request. And he asked Bartimaeus the same question when he came to be healed. What if Jesus asked you that question today? What do you want me to do for you? Do you have a longing deep within that you want to bring to Jesus? It might be something for yourself or for someone else. Take this moment as I finish to sit with that question for a while and see what response you might have to say to Jesus. And just one more thing before I go. If you haven't already done so, would you hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen? This will help us to get the word out to even more people and will keep you up to date with future videos. Thanks so much.